What's good, Panther Nation? It's your boy Myron McRae, a.k.a. Tornado McRae, across the scours of the internet, here with another episode of Panther Pride TV, your one-stop shop for all your Panther notifications and your Panther obligations, baby. And hope y'all are having a great Thursday. Hope everything's going smooth. If it's not going smooth, please don't crash out on that coworker, because you can't afford not to have your job and pay your bills. Trust me. And if you're in school, listen, bro, school year's almost up. You're right around the summertime. Don't do it. It ain't worth it. Get them in the summer. But guys, we're going to go ahead and get into today's docket. A few things that I've seen going across the internets and the interwebs. And the first things first, guys, rookie minicamp is set to start tomorrow. I'm actually really excited about it. I'm real happy that we're getting closer to football season and more things are starting to occur. And rookie camp starts tomorrow and goes through also on Saturday, the 9th and the 10th. And one thing that I love for the Panthers this year is the fact that all the rookies are going into minicamp this year healthy, with no injuries and things of that nature. Because a lot of us, like, considering what happened last year with Jonathan Brooks, how he didn't do minicamp, how he honestly missed the entire offseason because of his ACL. Then when he came back, was doing great until he retore his ACL and is now set to miss all of 2025. You hate to see injuries like that occur to players, especially rookies who are trying to establish themselves, trying to make a name for themselves, honestly trying to earn their money and prove why they deserve to be NFL talent. Nobody likes to see talent taken away due to injuries from the game. So for the Carolina Panthers, I'm happy and excited that the rookies are set to start tomorrow. Nobody's injured heading into it. Nobody has a prevalent injury history heading into it. And I think it's going to be some fun. I think they're going to get probably a few good photos and shots on social media, and it's going to look really cool. Might do some interviews with the rookies. I would expect that. And also, remember, last year Carolina announced all the rookies signing officially their contracts. So just don't be surprised if tomorrow they announce the official signings, that everything is officially signed on the dotted line. T's are crossed, I's are dotted, so on and so forth. Because I know we've talked about the rookie contracts on this channel before in an episode, and tomorrow they'll make them official and we'll have the official numbers, which are anticipated and expected. Now, going from this year's rookie class to our star rookie from 2 years ago, Bryce Young. And I say star rookie because we all know 2023 was his rookie season. But CBS Sports has recently dropped their post-draft 2025 quarterback power rankings heading into this season. And I want y'all to take a look at this, man. So, a couple things here. Number one, Jayden Daniels at the top of the list. Respect to Jayden Daniels. I'm going to be truthful. Respect to Jayden Daniels. The boy did have a phenomenal rookie season. So for them to give him respect and have him at the top of the list, hey, I'm not mad at it. Patrick Mahomes being at 6, kind of shocking. Not even going front. But the main thing for our team, and I want to point out, if you look at the last row, they have Bryce Young ranked at 26th in the league. Not happy about that. And honestly, here's the reason why. There are a couple notable names that I feel shouldn't be ahead of him. If you look right above him, they have Cam Ward listed at 25. Then, not only that, you have J.J. McCarthy listed at 20. You got Justin Fields listed at 24, and you have Drake May listed at 19. Those are 4 notable names that stuck out to me over Bryce Young. Now, I'm going to say this with the most pure intentions in my heart. Ain't no way I'm putting a rookie who hasn't proven himself and a guy who was on IR and missed all of last season over the guy who played. I'm sorry. That's disrespectful. Those are 2 names, honestly, I don't even know how they put him over. I get the hype around Cam Ward. I get it. But he hasn't played at the NFL level. He hasn't stepped onto the NFL field. Imagine when Carolina drafted Bryce, if Bryce was put over notable guys who had already been playing. Like, imagine, actually, yeah. Because Justin Fields was already in the league at that time. Imagine if Bryce was already over Justin Fields and Justin Fields was 2 years into the league, but Bryce hasn't played a snap. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. And then J.J. McCarthy. I get the kid was great at Michigan, but last year he was injured. All last year, did not play a snap. And Sam Darnold went and took that team to the NFC title game, if I'm recalling correctly. Or at least I know they took him to the playoffs as a top seed. So how good is J.J. McCarthy really? We ain't seen that. And granted, yes, he's going to be the starter, but I'm not putting him over Bryce Young, who did play last year and did show promise and did show growth and did show talent right down the end of the stretch. So I feel those two names, automatically Bryce should be over. And then when it comes to Drake May and Justin Fields, now this one, these two names, this is more so how I personally feel, but I can see the argument for them because when you look at the side-by-side comparisons, first with Justin Fields. And right here, I had Justin Fields' 2023 season because that was the last official season where he was like a committed starter, and it was in Chicago because we all know the mess that was going on in Pittsburgh. So I didn't want to be disingenuous and be disrespectful for Justin Fields and take numbers that honestly didn't correlate to what he can do when he's a committed starter. But when you look at his 2023 versus Bryce Young's most recent 2024, pass yards, Justin Fields has them. Passing TDs, Justin Fields has them. They like 25-62 to 24-403, 16 passing touchdowns to 15 passing touchdowns. They both had 9 interceptions. Completion percentage, 61.4% to Bryce's 60.9%. Passer rating, Fields beats them 86.3 to 82.2. But QBR, Bryce actually has a better QBR at 54.1 to 46.9. So there, I honestly feel like you can make the argument that Bryce had a better year. I know by the numbers, statistically, Justin does have the better year, but I feel as though on the field, on the talent, when it comes to throwing the ball downfield and things like that nature, especially when Bryce hit his stride, I feel like Bryce actually beats out Justin Fields here. And then when you look at the comparison to one Drake May, so Drake May's 2024 to Bryce Young's. Bryce Young actually beats May in passing yards at 2403 to May's 2276. Passing TDs, they both had 15 passing touchdowns. Bryce Young had one less interception. He had 9 compared to May's 10. May had a completion percentage at 66.6. Whoa. Devil's work. Not a fan. Compared to Bryce Young's 60.9. Passer rating, May had an 88.1 compared to Bryce's 82.2. And then QBR, May had a 58.6 compared to Bryce's 54.1. So when you look at those numbers, definitely May can make the argument for he had the better passer rating, completion percentage, and QBR. Young had the better raw numbers in terms of passing yards, touchdowns, and, well, not touchdowns, but passing yards and then fewer interceptions. So there, I genuinely feel like you can make that argument that Bryce is better than Drake May. I've always not been a fan of Drake May per se, and that's not even just because he went to New England. That's more so just I haven't been the biggest fan of Drake May, but that's just me. And whatnot, think he's slightly overhyped. Slightly. Not much. Slightly. But I feel as though he shouldn't be over Bryce Young at this point in time. And for me, at the end of the day, I feel like 22 would be a good spot for Bryce. I genuinely think 22, 23, no lower than 24. But definitely 22, I think he could be in that spot, and I think that's where he should have been on his power rankings. But they're power rankings for a reason. That's everybody's opinion. That's who they feel. And we're going to see how this goes down at the end of the season. So looking forward to that. And lastly, one more thing I want to address, and I know we've talked about it here before, but I want to ask y'all, I think Carolina may have found their replacement for Eddie Pinheiro. So For some of you who know, some of you who may not have seen, Carolina, one of the undrafted free agents Carolina signed was Ryan Fitzgerald. And I know we've all talked about Eddie Pinheiro being on the team. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm okay if we do not re-sign Eddie Pinheiro. I've said find a new replacement for him. And I'd want to give Ryan Fitzgerald his praise and his love and his, like, honestly, his minute to shine. Ryan, this is for you, my boy, because I think Ryan could be the new golden boot for Carolina. Here's the reason why. For those of you who didn't watch Ryan at Florida State, this is his last year. He was a place kicker out of Florida State. We signed him as an undrafted free agent. This was his last season at Florida State. So in the 12 games he played, the man went 14 of 14 on extra point field goals. He went 5 of 5 on field goals from 20 to 29 yards. He went 3 of 3 on field goals from 30 to 39 yards. Did not take any field goals from 40 yards, which was kind of weird. I guess that's just how Florida State ended up. But he was 5 of 5 on field goals from 50 yards or more, including a long of 59. So that, to me, is impressive. And then not only that, he was second team All-ACC in 2024 and third team All-ACC in 2023. So he was getting praise and getting accolades for how he was performing. I'm kind of shocked he went undrafted, but at the end of the day, he is a kicker, so I can kind of see why he went undrafted, but not really. Especially going 100% in your final year. Like, I don't get it. I don't get how you're not on anybody's radar. 100% second team in your conference. Come on now. But I really am hopeful that Ryan Fitzgerald is going to be like the next, honestly, John Casey for us, a real solid kicker, in my opinion. Because John Casey, to me, is still the best kicker in Carolina history. Nobody surpassed him yet, and I want somebody to do that. Ryan Fitzgerald, I hope you have that potential and you can do that. And hopefully, you're not like the other Florida State kicker that got drafted a few years ago in Robert Aguayo. For those of you who don't know or don't remember, Robert Aguayo was taken in the second round of the NFL draft as a kicker. And in college, he had earned the nickname Mr. Perfect. You know why you don't hear about him anymore? Because the man only played one season in Tampa Bay. And that season, he kicked 71%. Has not been in the NFL since. So, Ryan, I hope you're not like Robert. I hope you're more like John Casey. And I hope you have a successful career. I hope you establish yourself as a place kicker. And I hope, man, that you are phenomenal this season and whatnot. Because it's going to be a kicker battle. They did bring a vet in, I want to say, as well. Can't remember off the top of my head. If y'all remember the vet's name, because I know y'all be looking at this stuff like I do, drop it down below for me. But, guys, that's all I got to say. And, one last thing. I do want to address this because it has been prevalent in the comment section. I just got to address it. So, first of all, I apologize. I apologize for Dave Canales and Xavier Leggett. Here's the reason why. First, Leggett. I have family from Sumter, South Carolina, Dillon, South Carolina. I grew up with some people with the same last name as Xavier, and they pronounced it Leggett. So that's why I was pronouncing it as Leggett. It looks that way, and that's why I was pronouncing it. But I watched the video last night, and I saw him pronouncing his name, and he said Xavier Leggett. So from now on, it will be pronounced Leggett. I know how I feel when people mispronounce my name. I don't want to mispronounce his name, so I apologize, Xavier. I greatly do. And then for Coach Canales, Dave Canales, I don't know why, but every time I talk about Coach Canales, I get him and Dan Morgan mixed up. Their first names get twisted in my brain. I know it's Dave Canales. I really do. But for some reason, when I speak, it almost comes off as Dan real quick when I'm not thinking. So I have to be more conscious about making sure I say Dave if I'm going to say his full name. Coach Canales, I apologize. Your name is Dave Canales, not Dan Canales. Please, 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 guys. And I appreciate y'all holding me accountable and making sure I do pronounce these names correctly. I greatly appreciate it. And I take the criticism like to heart. I really do appreciate it. And thank y'all. But, guys, with all that being said, let me know your comments on if you're excited for rookie minicamp starting tomorrow. What do you think about the quarterback rankings and where they got our boy Bryce? And What do y'all think Ryan Fitzgerald is going to do this season if he's selected as a new place kicker? Because at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with 2 tats. Peace. Much love to all of you, Panther Nation. Take care. Later days. And as always, keep pounding. I'll see you next time.